So let's talk about you. How long have you been licensed? How long have you been selling real estate?
Yeah, about 2 years now.
2 years. Okay. And you joined the coaching program, you said about how long ago?
Uh, Pretty much 1 year.
About a year ago. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So before we started working together, I want to talk about that first. What were you doing to get business? Because I want to talk about the month you had last month and what things look like. But what were you doing to generate leads before you and I started working together?
Yeah, good question. So I I was like a jack of all trades, man, which I quickly learned is just not the route. Things like open houses. There was a point in time where Brandon, where I was driving around random neighborhoods and would like stop people on the road just to ask questions about the neighborhood and just hand out business cards. So just a bunch of stuff, really. But primarily it was open houses, and then kind of just door knocking, handing out business cards, the drill there. And I think based on what I'm doing now, I think you can probably guess the success I had with that.
Yeah. Well, how did you end up your first year in real estate?
I sold one house my first full calendar year.
Wow. And what will you do now your second full year? Or what did you do your second full year, as a result of doing the things that we've been working on for the last year?
Yeah, and so I started in the middle of the year, so that was maybe one house in 6 months. But first full calendar year was about three and a half, and that was just implementing everything there.
It's
Um, what
amazing.
I what I kind of did, Brandon, was since I didn't know what I didn't know, I wasn't in the program, so I just took the script, started dialing, and I actually joined a team towards that beginning part. And then over time, I was like, I'm booking all these appointments, and it got to the point where I'm just taking the listings myself, and I was like, well, heck, let's just rock and roll by myself. So, and then this year, on track, year to date is 2.4. And that's a mixture of the tail end of that team partnership and then myself as well for the most part. And then I've taken 2.2 million in volume, and then I've got 3.1 million signed for future business.
It's great. So what's the goal for this year? Total volume.
Uh yeah, good question. I'd really like to hit that 4 to 5 million mark. Yeah.
Yeah, and closed.
Yeah.
And if that happens in Chattanooga down there, what type of income would that represent?
Uh Probably about 150 to 180, I think.
It's amazing. That's great.
Yeah.
So here's what I'd like to do. I want to share this with people that are in the audience and show them this is what you posted in our community. These are your June, or I'm sorry, your July numbers for last month. I kind of want to break these down for people because this will help to really tell the story. So
Yeah.
first off, last month you spent 89 hours doing direct outbound prospecting. And that's a lot, right? We're going to come back to that and how you're staying disciplined and what you're focusing on. And in that time period, you spoke with 489 people, which breaks out to be about 22 per day. You generated 34 leads, not because you bought them from Tom, Dick, or Harry marketing agency, because you generated them through your skills, of which you set 14 appointments, you met seven of them, you took five listings, you closed two properties, and you made $24,000. So, not a bad month because this is what most realtors' year in 2025 will look like. You did this in 1 month. So, let's break this down and talk about this. So,
Yeah.
first off, most of your business right now, is it primarily through unpaid outbound prospecting, or is there other things that contribute to your business right now when it comes to lead generation?
Yeah. I'd say 99% of it, yes. And then I wouldn't suggest this as a full-time outbound method, but there's actually a coffee shop I go to here locally pretty much every day. Just I meet a lot of people there, and a couple of those listings actually came from just people I know. There
I
you go,
get
dude.
it. I go to the
Yeah.
same coffee shop every day. I know them all. They all know me. And so, yeah, that makes sense. So 99% is still through unpaid your outbound efforts. Now, can we talk about the first hurdle? The first hurdle in this type of business model is being consistent, showing up every day because it's very, very, very difficult work. Can you share with us what you've done to build this habit? Have you joined accountability groups? Have you joined masterminds, role play, accountability partners? What have you done to be consistent? Because I'm imagining you prospecting what, 5, 6 days a week right now?
I try and shoot for seven, but
Oh, it's
you know,
seven.
well, it fluctuates. So definitely five. And on the weekends, I mean, I'm not, I don't have kids. I'm not married, so I mean, there's nothing better to do with my time. You know what I mean?
Sure. Sure.
Um,
And what have you done? I mean, well, I guess let me ask you this. Is consistency, it's a challenge for everybody. How are you overcoming that and building the muscle of discipline to wake up every day and to make these calls?
Yeah, I think just reminding myself of the question, why not me?
Mm,
Because I'm not familiar with every single person here's market. But in my position, I see someone like Asher Black, for example, and it's like, why not me? I'm not expecting it tomorrow and next year, whatever the case might be. But long-term growth-wise, I mean, why not me? I just remind myself of that every day, and just remind myself that there's a reason that most people will never touch that type of production. And this pain I'm feeling right now is the reason. So I just remind myself, like, hey, if you can just break through this hurdle here, Nikolai, I mean, just day by day, every single day, you break through that barrier of just not wanting to do something. So I'd say that's kind of it. Just reminding myself that, hey, this is the price. There's a quote that I really like. It says, "Everything comes with a price, but not all prices appear on labels." And I
mm,
think that really speaks to it. So
it's great. I love that.
yeah,
And you've recognized, listen, prospecting is the price that I have to pay to get to where I want to go. And so you're just waking up every day and asking yourself the question, am I willing to pay the price? And that's a great mindset. So you talk to about 20, 25 people a day. Is that fair?
yeah, on average, yes. Sometimes less, sometimes more.
Yeah. And every time I talk about, your success in this business comes down to the number of people you talk to, and I throw out numbers like 20, 25, 30 conversations a day, everyone always says, well, who in the world would you want me to talk to? So you had 489 real estate conversations in just 1 month. Can you break down what sources you're prospecting?
Yeah. So a lot of it this year, Brandon, has shifted from pure expired because that's kind of where I was coming from last year, and I'm still hitting them. But I've done a lot of bullseye, a lot of demographic. But for the most part, in terms of like secured business, I'd say almost all of it is either for sale by owner or expired canceled.
Got it. Okay. So right now in your second year makes a ton of sense, right? As you're building your cash flow, you're building your business, your most of your results have come from the bottom of the funnel. Fair?
Right. Yeah.
And at the same time, you're making contacts to build your pipeline. We call top of funnel business for the future. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you were to break down your morning and you say, okay, how much prospecting are you doing? About 3 hours a day?
So if you really scale back over the entire year, it probably averages out to something like that. But more so in the past, I'd say 30 days, it's been upwards of minimum of about 4 hours. But like yesterday was about 6.5, so 4 to 7 hours.
6.5. We're talking about in one day, not the week.
Right. I mean, if
Yeah.
if I don't
Yeah.
have if I don't have appointments, I don't. Again, it goes back to like the weekend thing. If I don't have anything better to do.
No, and I say that half jokingly, right? I want agents to understand that how much work you're putting into this thing because most agents just when I talk about the level of volume they need to make this thing work, they vastly underestimate that. So, do you have a prospecting routine or prospecting schedule that you follow to say, okay, from this time to this time I'm going to focus on this lead source, then I'm going to go to this lead source. Is there a structure that you follow in the morning?
Yeah. So I'd say 7:45 to about I'd say 9 o'clock, 9:15. I am just redialing the new expireds consistently. Different phone numbers, of course, and really just hitting them. Except for the first of the month, I'll usually start around 7:30, just because of the volume, the influx of new expires there are. And then after that, I usually just hit some bullseye, hit some circle for a couple hours. After that, hit some follow up. And then in the afternoon, if, again, no appointments, I'll just hit the new expireds all over again and then keep circling. So,
Yeah, that's amazing. Are you, out of curiosity, are you working with any buyers right now, or is it primarily you're just focusing on listings?
Well, it's funny you say that, Brandon. It's I was talking to someone the other day. It's actually kind of a pet peeve of mine. Every seller I've ever had moved out of state,
Mm,
so I've actually only ever closed one buyer,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
every single other person was a listing. Yeah.
yeah. So let's spend a few minutes talking about. It's one thing to say, okay, I've got adequate volume. I'm making my calls. I'm talking to enough people, but then you have to talk about skills.
Hmm.
So in the beginning, I'd have to imagine, like most people, you weren't born this amazing fanatical prospector who had high levels of sales skills, I would imagine, like most of us, unless you're the special one. So, can you share with us maybe one or two skills that you've learned that help you to convert one of these cold conversations into either a lead or a listing appointment? Is there a part of the call? Is there a skill? Is there a technique that you say, Brandon, once I learned how to do this, these conversations got a lot better?
Um. Well, yeah, you were absolutely right. I definitely didn't come from that. I mean, 2 years ago, I was scrubbing cars at a car wash. But I'd say some golden nuggets to kind of. Are you? I guess are you asking? Is there anything that I do as like tailored to my approach that really helps with conversion? Is that what you're
Well,
asking?
I think people say, okay, fine. I'm going to make these calls. I'll call for sale by owners. I'll call an expired listing. I'll call these lead sources, Nikolai. What do I say? How do I get anything out of it? What script should I use? What kind of questions should I ask? Because most agents, they pick up the phone, hello, and they're so scared and they don't know what to say. So my question to you is, yeah, is there certainly we talk a lot about scripts, right? But I think you
Right.
would agree that it's a lot more than the words that you're saying. It's more what
Absolutely.
questions you're asked. How do you ask the questions? There's different techniques. There's push away techniques. There's negative reverse presumptive questions. There's all types of different techniques that we talk about. Are there some that you've really latched on to that has helped you convert over the telephone?
Yeah, good question. I'd say a lot of it actually comes from just being able to, oh, sorry, automatic light.
No
I'd say a
problem.
lot of it comes from just understanding the person I'm speaking to, in terms of like disc personality type. And then from there, I can kind of gear my questions in a way, Brandon, where I know it's going to connect with that particular person. And I carry that over into appointments as well. So to answer your question, I'd say a lot less of what you say and a whole lot more on just understanding the avatar that you're speaking to and understanding how to pivot your questioning to fit that person.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that did that take a while to get comfortable? First you had to learn the script, then you had to internalize it, right? I mean, that probably took a little while to get used to that. Would that be fair?
Yeah, yeah, I'd say so. I
Yeah,
mean, there are still, I mean, even now, Brandon, when I'm calling, I'll have my phone set up with the script open just in case. But
sure.
and I don't think there's any shame in that either.
No, not at all. Not at all. Because you're focusing on bottom of funnel business, are most of your appointments still coming from the first call, or have you learned to start generating leads, putting those people into a follow up system, and generating higher, what we say, quality appointments through follow up?
Yeah, I'd say a lot of them definitely come from first contact. And then I'd say it's probably about a 65-35 split. 65% of it comes from first contact, 35% follow up. And then
Okay,
as far as follow up goes, I just have a framework that I like with them and it works pretty well.
got it. So can you would you be open to a role play to like as far as setting an appointment with an expired listing on the first call? I mean, if you found out, I'm in Tennessee and I tell you, I want to get off to Florida because I'm retiring. Like, what is it that you're saying, and what questions are you asking that you can cold call somebody out of the blue and get them to invite you to come to their house on the very first conversation? I mean, that is a lot of skill. You put a lot of time into this. The audience, if I'm them, I'm saying, dude, I would love to hear what this sounds like. Can we do a
Yeah.
little role play just around the appointment?
Yeah, sure thing.
Yeah. So I find out that there you go, that light thing. I don't know if it came back or not. That's fine. So you find out, yeah, my motivation is, I'm retiring with my wife and we're looking to move from Tennessee to Florida.
Okay. And you just wanted me to just set the appointment right here?
Yeah, you set most of your appointments on the second call, and so you've gone
Yeah.
through the pattern interrupt. You've gotten my motivation. The house expired with the first agent and failed to sell. Here we are, you and I having a nice conversation, and now it's time to ask for that appointment, to set that appointment. What does that typically sound like?
Yeah. So, well, hey, Brandon, before I let you go, hey, it sounds like you're kind of at the point, Brandon, where you just came off the market. You weren't too thrilled about the past experience, and you guys are just looking to offload this place just so you can focus on getting up or down to Florida. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, yep, that's exactly right.
Cool. Well, Brandon, I guess before I do go here, could I maybe make a recommendation, and you can tell me if I've lost my top or not?
Sure, no, that'd be fine.
Cool. Well, yeah, Brendan, I mean, let's just pretend for a second, just pretend that you and I got together one of these days. And while I was there, Brandon, I just showed you the strategy I'm using that helps sellers like Bob and Susie down the street sell with multiple offers, even in this market. And after you saw that plan, Brandon, you actually believed that that strategy could get you guys down to Florida in no time. I mean, if you actually believe that to be true, would it be a huge waste of time? Maybe just to take a peek at that for 5, 10 minutes? Because I
No,
mean,
no,
let's face it, Brandon. I mean, you're not going to do anything, especially after the last experience, unless it makes sense, right?
no, that's a really good point. No, I think we definitely like to see that. I mean, that's great. Now, I want the live audience to hear you've taken the script that I've taught you and you've absolutely made that your own. I mean, you deserve a round of applause for sure. I mean, I'm putting you on the spot in front of all these live people, but
Yeah.
it's very natural. It's very conversational. I can see why you set a lot of appointments. I can see why just last month, looking at your numbers, you set 14 listing appointments in 1 month. It makes sense. You've got a lot of skill. You've got a lot of charisma. You've got a lot of confidence. So, what did you do to build that confidence? Did you role play a lot for the first year? I mean, what have you done to build the skill set to where it's at right now?
Yeah, great question. Funny enough, I could probably count on two hands, Brandon, how many times I've role played outside of prospecting. And
Sure.
so purely because, I mean, I was talking to that good buddy of mine in my market, and I was asking him, hey, did you role play a lot when you were starting out? And he just said, no, I just figured I'd just get on the phones and practice there. So that's what I did. I just
The
practiced on
learning's in the doing,
prospects.
right?
Exactly. And I mean, my point of view of it is like, if I'm going to practice either way, may as well have the opportunity to go meet people face to face while doing so. So
Yeah. It's
really just
amazing.
came
It's great.
from getting, crap thrown in my face for, 6, 8 months straight. So that's where it came from, I guess.
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense. So let's talk about the fact that you have a 71% appointment met to appointment taken ratio. That is extremely high, especially you're going after bottom of funnel business, which is the most competitive business in any market. That is probably one of the highest ones I've seen with an agent with your level of experience. So let's shift gears from, okay, I set this appointment. Can you walk us through what happens from the time you set an appointment to the time you go on an appointment? We'll start there and then we'll talk about the appointment next.
Yeah, so just set an appointment with you, Brandon. Obviously, I'm getting your email. Then I'm sending you a contact card through text. I'm sending you an intro video through text. I'm sending you that thank you card with the scratch off in it. Maybe a crumble cookie if I'm feeling good about it. Getting the email, of course, and then through the email, I'm sending another intro video. Also sending the resume. And then it's actually, Brandon, sometimes on calls, I'll push them to go for sale by owner a little bit, make them fight that a little bit. And then the email, I'll actually send them the FISBO toolkit. Just say, hey, just in case you do happen to want to go FISBO, I thought I'd send this to you as well.
It's great.
So a lot of resources.
So you do that on the same day you set the appointment, right? All that happens, right? Let's just say the appointment's a couple days out. Is there anything you do between the day you set the appointment and the day of the actual appointment?
Yeah, I'll like something for like the net sheet, for example. I will use that as an excuse to give them a call the day before. So if our appointment's today's Tuesday and our appointment's Thursday, I'll give you a call tomorrow and just say, hey, I'd like to do a net sheet, blah, blah, blah. And was just curious, on the mortgage payoff, is it free and clear or is it something else, entirely? Just use it as an excuse to make a touch point. I
Super
purposely
smart.
don't ask that on the phone call.
Super, super smart. So hopefully everyone caught that, right? So the day before the appointment, you call and you say, hey, John, it's Nikolai. I'm working up the numbers for our appointment tomorrow, and I forgot to ask you, how much is left on the mortgage, or is it paid off, right? And so that's a really good touch point. Makes total sense. Okay, great. Now let's shift to the appointment. Okay, so you have a 71% conversion. It's very high going after bottom of funnel business. You're competing with a lot of great agents in your market. A lot of those agents have been doing this a lot longer than you have. Yet you're closing 7 out of 10. I mean, this is incredible. So, can you walk us through what you're doing at the listing appointment that's helping you to win at such a high rate?
Yeah. So before I get into that, I will say I think a lot of it has to do with the speed to lead quote. Because something I do on the phone call, I probably should have mentioned this. When we're scheduling that appointment, I say today's Tuesday, 1 p.m. right now Eastern. So yeah, Brandon, if I told you I could be at your doorstep in about 5 hours, I mean, you probably tell me that's way too soon and I need to pump the brakes. Am I right? So first of all, I try and get there as soon as possible. There's
Super
just some
smart.
statistic out there that says how many sellers sign with the first agent they meet.
Most,
I don't,
most.
yeah. So I think speed is very, very important. As for the actual appointment, I'd say it goes back to really just understanding the person you're presenting to. Because the thing is, if you are a killer at presenting to drivers and that's all you know how to do, nothing else, and then you get put in front of an amiable, I mean, it's not going to go well.
Yeah, that's
So I
such a good
guess
point.
really understanding the person you're talking to and knowing which personality types will handle multiple close attempts well and which ones will, you're just doing yourself more harm than good. Um, but I also think it's leading with confidence. If you get, really friendly, really comfortable with the prospects at the appointment and they've got, say 7, 8 other agents they got to interview, I just lead with confidence, Brandon. I mean, I had one recently that was interviewing 9 agents.
Hmm.
And at the end of it, she was essentially like, someone would have to walk in here and say, I'm paying you cash for your house for me to not go with you. And
Hmm.
I tried to handle more, but I just left it off with, yeah, and hey, Brenda, I get the feeling I'll be hearing from you come Tuesday, and just kind of added a little chuckle there. And
Sure.
their response was, yeah, I do too. So I think just one, really knowing who you're presenting to and understanding that different personality types require different presentation, communication, and then two, really just having that speed to the lead, man. I'd say those are the two factors.
It's great. How often are you able to set those same date appointments? Because I would agree with you 100%. If you're calling a for sale by owner, an expired listing, and the competition's so high, if you can do same day appointments, I mean, your likelihood of conversion goes way, way, way up. But of those, I mean, how many are you doing same day versus, a couple days from now?
If I got 10 cold calls where I knew it was going to be an appointment on every single one, I'd probably say maybe 60% of them I can get in the door same day.
It's amazing. I mean, that's why, yeah, it makes total sense. I mean, that's why we do this unpaid outbound prospecting for all those people that are new to this. There is no other lead generation strategy that we know of yet in real estate where on one day you can go and get a listing. It's the fastest way to go and do this, and there's no money involved. So it's the fastest and it's the most profitable. Makes a ton of sense. Okay. How's the market in Chattanooga? I mean, are you having challenges like a lot of people are? Has it shifted from what used to be a really hot seller's market to slowing down, or is it still really hot down there?
Um, I'd say we're I'd say we're neutralizing it. And what I tell
Yeah.
Brandon is that this is a market for buyers who need to buy and sellers who need to sell. This isn't for people that, they have one step in the living room and they would just prefer a house without one step in the living. You know what I mean? Um, but I'd say, if you could be really upfront, really granular, and really honest and really strategic with pricing, I mean, things are selling.
Yeah. Because that was going to be my next question. I mean, how is it that, I mean, you've been doing this for 2 years now, and you're able to not only go out there and get business like we just talked about, but you're able to actually obtain listings with people that are very motivated and actually get them sold. So when it comes to pricing the property and having these conversations with sellers that are probably a lot older than you in most cases, right? And again, you're just getting going in your career. How is it that you're able to communicate with these sellers such that they take your leadership They take your lead and they price it where it actually sells. Like, what would you share with the audience around that pricing conversation?
Yeah, I'd say, well, obviously you go through the regular presentation, you get to the pricing. And I feel like this is where I used to mess up a ton, Brandon, is every time they would say, well, hey, I know it's saying that it's worth this in today's market, but I just really want to list here. What I used to do, and it may be the same for some people in the audience, is I used to sit there, Brandon, and just try and talk them out of doing that. But what I found is by just flipping a few pages back and just reverbalizing the days on market presentation, it actually helps that a lot.
That's right.
Because that's what that page is for. So when that kept happening to me, I was like, wait a second, well, we have this entire sector of this presentation for this conversation. But outside of that, Brandon, I'd say really just getting them to verbalize it rather than you telling them. What is it? People believe nothing you say, some of what other people say, and everything they tell themselves.
Right.
So yeah, I'd say getting them to verbalize it as you're going through the active, pending, closed, and market range. And if that doesn't pan out, then I always revert back to the days on market presentation.
Yeah, good for you. I mean, it's rare that I have people really realize the way that I've structured the presentation. Again, this is through 20 years of trial and error, but everything in the presentation is designed to get in front of any pitfalls that may occur later. If you don't go through the presentation the way that I've outlined it, you're setting yourself up for those pitfalls later. So good for you. The days on market presentation is delivered before the pricing presentation on purpose so that they can draw from the stories you told in the days on market presentation. They can draw from that conversation. And as you're using the Socratic method of communication that you've learned, you get the prospect to verbalize the right price. Is that fair?
Yeah.
It's great. It's amazing. It's great. So, you guys, if you guys have questions, you guys can start getting your hands up. I'm going to ask you just one last question for me, and then we'll open this up for the live Q&A in the audience. I like to get this perspective from people, and I'm not looking for any specific answer, but I always like this, hindsight's always 2020, right? So like knowing what you know now, you get licensed all over again right now. Are there certain things that you would do differently than that the brand new realtor who is watching this right now could learn from your 2 years of mistakes?
I mean, as biased as it sounds, I would say just pick up the phone because I would tell them, new realtor Bob, here's the reality, or, past new realtor Nikolai, here's the reality. You can do open houses every single day. You can, give out business cards every single day. You can buy leads every single day. Here's the reality. You're going to have to call these people at some point, you know? So forget this whole idea of, oh, I can do this without talking to people on the phone or text, email. I don't care what it is, but it's
Yeah.
like, get rid of this idea that you can, secure all this
Wait.
without just talking to people.
That's the word you're looking for. You got to get
Yeah.
rid of the mindset of wait around and wait for this thing to ring. It's never going to happen. You have to be the one to pick it up and reach out to people. And I would go as far as to say, if you are unwilling to do that, then this business is simply not for you. And it doesn't matter, to your point, how you're generating leads. You still, whether you're buying leads, doing open houses, you're you're going to have to pick the phone up, call somebody, go meet with somebody and have a conversation. So if you hate
Mm.
talking to people, it's probably not the business for you. Fair?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Great. All right, let's open this up. So David, let me start with you. Go ahead. You got a question for Nikolai?